Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kyrus Has Friends, the show where I sit down with the people that matter to me the most, and those people are my friends. Before we get started today with our special guest, please be sure to follow me on my favorite social media channels. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter at The Vibe with Kai. You can also follow me on Snapchat and on TikTok before it gets banned. You can follow me there at Kyrus Keenan. And if you want, you can always visit my website, thevibewithkai.com, where I'm always posting things like blogs and videos that'll help you do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. But enough about me and my plugs and my websites and my TikToks and my Twitters and all of that nonsense.
That is like a CVS receipt of places to find you.
There, like, I am probably the easiest person to find in the history of the internet. Like, I think you could just type in black guy and then like, oh, there's Kyrus. I found him. Got him.
Got it. Black guy, good vibes.
Yes, good. Black guy, good vibes. And then I'll just pop up. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? Good vibes. Hi. I'm sitting here with my good friend. We've known each other for quite some time, and now she's blowing up on TikTok because she found a very niche market, which we're gonna talk about. But I'm sitting here with my friend Erika Marie, illustrator, cosplayer, influencer, and a word that I just learned myself, Weeb, which I never even heard of that before, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But before we start talking about all of that, I need to check in on you. Quarantine, pandemic. Not sure if you heard of any of this or not. Apparently, there's some stuff going on outside that's preventing us from living our normal lives. So I just want to check in on you. How are you doing in this quarantine pandemic
I'm doing
world?
a lot better. Beginning of quarantine was rough. Because I, like a lot of people in the arts community, lost my job because theater was kaput.
Oh, you remember theater? Remember when theater was a thing?
Remember we used to
gather
man. Places to see art?
Remember when we used to gather together in groups of more than 10?
Yes.
And sit and collectively watch something in silence, clapping and laughing and crying every now and then. You remember those days?
He's like a faraway dream now, pretty much.
You were a stage manager, right? Like you stage managing was like your thing.
Yeah, it was my thing. I was in Philadelphia for like 4 or 5 years, stage managing there professionally, and then it all kind of happened all at once. Like quarantine happened, and then my lease was up, and then it was just kind of all snowballed to be like, oh, I'm leaving Philly now.
Now, where are you now?
Outside of Trenton. My parents have graciously let me stay with them.
Very nice. Yes, my mom lives in Hamilton. Well, or where? Yeah, so I'm quite familiar with the Trenton area for sure.
Yes, that's where we are.
Is that where you grew up?
Yeah, Hamilton. Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
Notre Dame.
Oh, you went to Notre Dame. I went to Nottingham.
Oh, nice.
Yes, wait, what year were you at Notre Dame?
I graduated 2009.
2009. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm 2005. Yeah. So I'm an old man. Is what we call it nowadays. So you what'd you say?
I said you're a seasoned man.
Sure, I'll go with. I got some city miles on me. Is what I like to say. So you live this life full of theater. Obviously, theater is not around right now, and you had to make some adjustments in your life. How are you holding up, just from a mental standpoint? How are you feeling?
I am much better now. I was definitely kind of lost in a sea of like. Because theater takes over your life when you do it. Especially if you're consistently, like, you have no time off. You're constantly rehearsing. I really didn't know who I was outside of my. Happened at once. I was really like in a sad place, just kind of aimlessly floating around. Who I like? Who am I? Like, it was just a really weird space to be in, and that's when I found TikTok. It was like, oh, so cool. So then I realized that there was tons of stuff that I wanted to try that I never had the time for, like cosplaying, like drawing all the time. And then that all just blew up, and now I've just kind of found a new purpose and identity from it, which is crazy and amazing. Right. And I never would have been able to theater. So it's kind of like a nice silver
on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not so much, and 10 being God, I miss it. How much do you miss theater?
I'd I usually hover at like a 5.
Okay.
I miss it for the camaraderie, for the family, in that regard. I don't miss the schedule.
Mm.
Like the lack of time I had for myself.
Right.
Like
Right.
really. Because I lived the non-union life, so that's
Yes.
also, the lack of money,
Yes.
the lack of security that you have living that life.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, it was always once it all goes away, you kind of have to just pick back up and keep going.
Absolutely. So do you think that theater will return like to what it was, or do you think that from this point forward, it's just going to be a completely different world now?
I think it should be a completely different world. I think
Hmm.
that this new reality has shaken and changed the way all of us are going to live our lives forever now. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? I don't think it'll ever really go back to normal. I mean, yeah, I think the vaccine, I think once and if we get it, I think
Hmm.
will push everything towards normalcy like way faster than
Right.
us now. But
Well, you should know, Erica, if you drink your bleach every day like I do,
every
then everything is fine. You're not going to get this liberal virus. That's
Oh no,
going.
I don't know. I'm just gonna get some. I'm just gonna get the plasma and the
Yes.
hydrochloroquine or whatever the heck
Yeah, and then
is
you'll
the.
be fine. That's what
Yeah,
I do. That's what I
totally.
do every day. What we were saying is that you don't think that theater will ever really return to, you know, what it was before, and that there's this new normal now that just people have to
Yeah, I think you just kind of got
accept.
to get on board. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I think that, and even if it's like, even if we do go back to whatever our normal was previously, I think that there's always gonna be like I look at it from a stage management point of view. Like I'm gonna be the person that like if I were to go back into a rehearsal room, I would have 7 times more hand sanitizer. I would be using gloves. I'd be making sure everybody has the same cup and that it's labeled. Like you
Sure.
just hyper aware of germs and contamination. And I think that that's even if, like I said, even if we're not like having to social distance or wear a mask all the time, I still
Right.
think that that's going to be on everybody's mind,
Yes.
rightfully so. I think.
Right. And I mean, God bless all of the stage managers out there, because that's going to be part of their job and their
Yeah,
responsibility. As if stage managers don't have enough to do.
and no,
I've always been under the mindset that stage managers probably have the most thankless job
mm-hmm.
in the world of theater, and they don't get the credit that's due, because without a stage manager, there's no show,
Yeah, 100%.
like, at
I always
all.
say like I do a good job if you don't know that I'm there.
Sure. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Do you have like any horror stories, like any moments that stick out to you that you're like, oh man, that's not how that was supposed to happen.
Oh yes, I do. So I was an assistant stage manager for most of my time in Philly. I love assistant stage managing. I like being
Hmm.
backstage. I kind of I always say that I live for the shit show. Like I like enjoying being back in the chaos. So there was one show that we did. It's called Hapgood, and there was long story short, an actor on stage was supposed to light a dollar bill on fire and then drop it in a trash can
What
that
could
had
possibly go wrong? What could
right?
possibly go
But
wrong?
like, but the and what's it called? And the trash can had water in it, obviously,
Yes.
because it's like where you drop it. But the set that they were on was a turntable,
Oh
and
boy.
and so me and my crew had to set it like while it was moving, and this was in a preview night. So we set it, and it goes out, and then one of my little like apprenti come to me, and he's like, Erica, because his face is like it's so big. I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, I forgot the trash can. And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
okay. So basically what I did was my friends still talk about this is that like he's about to like he lights a thing on fire, he looks, the trash can's not there, and then he kind of like turns, and then out of this like door to nowhere comes my hand and a trash can, just
Oh my gosh.
extending it out from the ether, just holding a trash can in midair. And he just walks over and is like, boop, and then just continues on with the scene. And I just
What was the audience reaction? Were they just, did they
they were
lose it?
confused, but it was
Yeah.
kind of, but I think they all kind of were like, oh yeah, the thing on fire's got to go somewhere.
Yes.
Cool. Like, and it was a preview, so preview
Right.
audiences like to come hoping they'll see something go wrong, and they did. So like, good for them, they got a show. But,
Do you, when you do the preview shows, do you put that precursor out there beforehand, like, hey guys, look, this is a
oh yeah,
preview.
they're we sell them at discounted price, knowing that
Sure.
what they're going to see is not finished.
Sure.
And they don't care. They're like, yeah, let's see it.
Yeah.
Like the real theater buffs like to go to that, and then they'll go to a show later to be like, what changed?
Yeah, yeah. So do you as a stage manager, do you miss like calling five and like yelling places?
Yeah, I do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still use that vocabulary every day in my
Sure.
life. Like, I'll be like, thank you, five. Like,
I do that at work. Somebody come up to me and they'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna meet in the front office in 5 minutes." I'm like, "Thank you, five," and they'll be like, "What?"
yeah, I know.
What is
I do
this?
that. I do it all the time. But yeah, I do miss it. I do, like I said, I really miss the family. Like the Philadelphia theater family was really fantastic. They were really close. I miss the people that I work with. And yeah, and I do enjoy. I really love theater, just all aspects of it. So
Sure.
that's why I stage managed in general, because I was just like, any way that I can be involved in every aspect of the process, like, I'm in. But,
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you still talk with a lot of I guess people in the industry that you got to work with? You know, what is the like for the people that you do get to talk to? What is the general consensus right now about where life is headed? What are they doing? Because I mean, they're saying that, I mean, professional theater may not come back until what, spring of 2021 at the earliest.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so what are people that you're talking to like saying? How are they feeling right now?
I know a lot of the bigger companies have been doing like the Zoom readings.
Yes.
Where they've been like trying to at least like get it, like get people like that. Like, that's been most of it. I think been a lot of Zoom readings. I know a lot of artists kind of go off on their own. Like, I know I have a friend of mine that's doing like a sonnet series where he like does he goes outside and reads like a sonnet every day in a park somewhere, and then people watch him and he films it, and it's like a whole thing. So everyone's just kind of doing what they can, like, because there's the two halves of the coin, where you're like, my creativity needs to be fed, but also I need to work. Like, some people have like theater companies that like either went under or like just kind of at a standstill for right now. Like, it's very
it's heartbreaking, because and one thing I've been saying to people all the time is that, like, for people like us that enjoy, you know, live theater and like the feeling that it gives us and the opportunities that it gives us, it feels as though something that we've worked for and on our entire lives, things that we trained our entire lives for, things like that you and I went to school for, you know, it's now not a thing.
Yeah.
And we're getting a glimpse of what life is like without the thing that we dedicated our entire life to.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes, you know, but I do feel hopeful, because I do see other friends of mine that are doing the things that you're talking about in regards to creating their own opportunities and still finding ways to get better and to learn and all of that. Like, that's exciting. That makes me happy. Like, as cheesy as the Zoom stuff can be sometimes, like,
absolutely. Yeah.
It's very reassuring to know that, like, people are still finding a way to scratch that itch.
Absolutely. And I also think that there is kind of with the lack of, obviously, the live aspect of performing.
Yes.
Also, quarantine, I think, has really shown a light on the comfort that art brings to people. Like, what do you do in your home? You watch TV, you watch shows, you listen to music. Like, it really has become like you go back to those things. So it's not that, and so there is that positivity in that, like, our industry is very much not dead or gone. Like, it very much is wanted, and I do think there will be a want.
Yes.
Not to just get out of the house for a night. Like, I think there will definitely be a want and a need for it when it does come back.
And I can't wait. Because I say to people all the time, it's like the first show that a person does back on a stage, no matter where it is, big or small, the first time that they have an opportunity to perform in front of a live audience again, that'll probably be the best performance
Yeah.
that they've ever given in their life, because we've taken it for granted, because we just
Yeah.
always felt like, hey, performing, it's our right to do it. We can do it whenever we want. We can go to any theater that we want, any
Yep.
production company around the world. We can go and perform and do what we love. And now we're seeing like what it's like to not have that. So I think the next time that we get to like do what we love, it's going to be the best performance, even if it's like some dumb show.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even if you're like course member number 5, you're gonna be
Oh
like,
yeah,
yes, I am here. I'm swaying in the back.
exactly. Look at my time step. My
Look at
time step is
Look at it. My jazz square is on point.
it
I
is
will
on
serve you
point.
that jazz square.
I love that. So I want to shift over to something that I don't know anything about.
Okay.
So I follow you on the TikTok, right?
Yes.
And you said you're up to how many followers are you up to now?
22.5 thousand.
22.5 thousand followers. And one of the reasons that you've grown so much on the TikTok is the fact that you have a very niche interests.
Yeah.
You're gonna make fun of me because my ignorance is gonna show here, because I just don't know. So you are a self-proclaimed weeb, Weeb, right?
Yes.
A weeb.
A weeb.
I had to look up what that was. Like I legit, because I'm like, what is a weeb? And so this was, I think maybe this was like a week or so ago, and I'm like, what is a weeb? I don't understand. And so I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. So why don't you explain to people what a weeb is?
Yeah. So weebs there's a lot of names that kind of float around for ourselves. Like, a weeb is the one that previously, in my remembrance, had like a negative connotation, but now we're kind of like
embracing it.
We're owning it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one is like an otaku, like someone who just really is a fan of anime, Japanese animation, the art style, the culture.
Right. So you're saying it was a at first it could have been considered a derogatory term, but now you guys are kind of like embracing it and being like, yeah, you know what? I'm a weeb. I don't care.
Yeah. Because like the weeb was kind of like if the connotation was that like someone in a dark basement, like watching weird animation, but at the same time, all of us now are like, we're all in a basement, we're all home, like
right.
Like what?
were you always a weeb, or is this something
what's really fascinating about the last like maybe 2 or 3 years in my life is that like when I was in high school, I was a big anime fan. I got into it because on like Cartoon Network at night there'd be Toonami and Adult Swim, and that's when you'd see like Dragon Ball Z, and you'd see all these other shows that would come on like after 10 o'clock, and that's kind of where my like for it came from. But no one that I knew liked it really, or like didn't say that they did. So there was like this weird like, I can't tell anybody that I watched this show. Like it was really like not. It wasn't cool, it wasn't like a thing. And in high school, that's all you want to be is like accepted and
of course,
cool and stuff.
Yeah.
So I really kind of didn't like say anything about it or do anything about it. And then I got into it again, like maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer, I think even. And yeah, and I just kind of like, you know what? The art form is stunning, and now I'm like real TED Talk nerdy about it.
And like, people enjoy like your opinions on things about it and stuff like that. Do you feel like your camaraderie within that community stems from what you were talking about before, about how like it was looked down
100%.
upon?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what's been really freeing about TikTok is that like the platform is so large and it's so vast.
It's not just about dancing. That's the one thing that I think people mistake for TikTok. People think, oh, TikTok, oh, I can't dance, I can't go on TikTok. No, there are very niche, popular communities that are on there.
What got me into TikTok, because at first when I saw TikTok, I was like, I'm too old for TikTok. Like, TikTok is for like the youth. I had no way. But then what really got me into it was I started seeing basically like, it's like handheld cosplay was really what got me into it. It's all these people that just put on costumes and are like, I'm gonna lip sync to a song and it's gonna match my outfit and I'm gonna be fierce. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like that's fantastic. And then the platform is so wide and so vast that like there is kind of this like freeing aspect of like all these people that have had to hide this like love that they have for so long, and they
Right.
finally find people that like it too, and then it's like
Right.
this big explosion of like, you know,
Right.
serotonin and
And one of
happiness.
the things that I found on TikTok and about weebs, I guess, is that there's no like one specific type of person, right? Like you
Oh,
have every race, every color, every creed, every gender. Like you have a mix of everything, and it's not just like one type of person. And
yeah,
I find that to be fascinating. And
yeah.
I've been here's the funny thing. So like since I've been so curious about it on my TikTok
Mhm.
and like looking at what people are doing, now my For You page is like this like weird mix of
Yeah,
like basketball and then hip hop and then anime and then
yeah.
golf and then like dances and then good vibes and like all it's like this weird mix that like makes perfect sense to me. But if you were to scroll through, you'd be like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what is wrong with you.
Yeah, the TikTok algorithms sometimes make me laugh. Like they
Yeah.
some I love those videos where people will be like, I am on the, and like, if you see me on your For You page, I'm lost. Could you just like send me back to
Yes.
somewhere else? Like those are the ones that I think those are so funny because yeah, like the algorithm just puts you someplace. And yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, I got a, like something about a car the other day, and I was like, I don't know nothing about cars. Why are there cars
Right.
on my For You page? Like
Right,
okay,
right. It's just I feel like it's just TikTok taking a guess, being like, I think you're gonna like cars. What? We're
baby
gonna push
cars?
cars
Yeah,
on you. Maybe you'll like it. If not, okay. Next, what's
yeah,
next?
yeah,
Dentist. Okay, we're gonna put up a bunch of
yeah.
dentists
Dentist. Cool.
in
Yeah,
front of you.
exactly.
That's so funny. So like, do you get like with your followers? Do you often hear like back from them? Like when you post something, do you get to like really interact with them and converse
Kind
with
of
them?
yes
What
and
is that
no.
like?
It's really, I really, there hasn't been like a lot of interaction on my end simply
Yeah,
because mine's just, I kind of just do like opinion pieces and like that's what
sure.
it is. So either like you agree with me or you don't. Like that's kind of
Right.
what, you know what I mean? I've, I think I'm definitely on the, I think I'm on the older side of the weebs. Like there's like, because we're like, it's anime has kind of gotten this like new boost, I think, since being in quarantine,
Interesting.
since
Okay.
you've kind of had this access to internet and just like endless possibilities to watch things. I think that there's
Right.
a lot of young people that are watching it and getting their friends to watch it because
Hmm.
it's a little more accepted now. So there's like a very limited pool of anime that they're aware of because it's anime that's popular right now. So
Hmm.
my aspect of it is I'm kind of like, hey, I'm the old weeb that liked anime back in like the 90s.
Right.
Here's some stuff y'all should watch. Like that's kind
Right.
of where I fit in. There's one time, remember that one day when TikTok just like glitched and freaked out and everyone was
I
like, this
do.
is
I
the
remember
end.
that day. I do. I remember that day clearly because I'm the so my job. I'm the director of social media, right, for a marketing
Mm-hmm.
firm, and so I was on social media that day because I'm on it every day because it's literally what
Right.
I get paid to do. And so I remember getting some Twitter notifications about TikTok being down, and that at the time people were freaking out because they were like, TikTok's getting banned. It's happening right now, right?
Yeah.
So I remember that day clearly because people were freaking out. Every influencer that I know was going live saying their goodbyes.
Yeah, it
They're
was like
like,
a
this
whole
is it.
eulogy. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was insane. But that day I remember, like I kind of did this. I didn't go live, but I was just kind of like, hey, we might be gone. Like,
Yeah.
peace
Yeah.
out. And then somebody wrote me this really nice comment, but they were like, hey, your videos always make me laugh. I
Oh
really
yeah,
like
yeah.
what you do. And I was just
That's the best
like,
part.
it was
Those
so nice.
it's it's comments like that, that
Yeah,
like it kind of reminds you why you do what you do,
exactly.
and why and all that. That's really so here's my question for you. So let's just say like I'm not a weeb, not because I don't want to be, it's because I don't know anything. It's just my blissful ignorance, I guess.
It is a
So
dark, deep hole to dive into.
so if I were to say to you, okay, give me three shows or movies
Mm-hmm.
to introduce myself to this world that
Mm.
best represent why you love it.
Hmm.
What three shows or
Right.
movies would you say?
So, okay. Let me take out my collapsible soapbox. All right. No, it's really interesting because like the anime as an art form is really vast. It's real. It's so intricate. There's so many different genres.
Sure.
There's so many different types, and there's something for everyone. You know
Sure.
what I mean? So like, so when you say like, what would you recommend? That I always come back with you, and I'm like, well, what kind of movie? Like, do you like action films? Do you
Right.
like romance? Do you like do you like thriller? Do you like
Right.
you know, what? Like it all varies. But
So
it's
you're
like,
saying my question was stupid, is what you're
no,
saying?
no, 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 no. Follow up is that like there's always
It's like going to a restaurant and opening up the menu and going to the server and be like, "Hey, so what's good?"
what's good, and he's like, all of it. Bye. Yeah. No, I think I really when I recommend anime, there are like the classics that are like the show that I recommend to everybody that's never watched anime before is Cowboy Bebop.
I've heard of that. I have no idea
It-
what it is, but I've heard of that.
Um,
Am I a weeb now?
Space Cowboy.
I've heard of that.
Yes, Cowboy Bebop is a really good intro to the genre because the music's fantastic, the writing is really intricate and character driven, and it's really evenly paced, so it's like you don't fall behind with a lot of information. The animation's really great.
Great.
And and there's not a lot of the thing that gets people like put off of anime are like the tropes or like the silly voices and the silly faces that kind of come out of nowhere. That's really just part of the style that you kind of have to like accept or not. But but Cowboy Bebop doesn't really have that, which is why I usually recommend it to people that haven't watched it before. It's a good intro. It's a good in.
Okay, so Cowboy Bebop. I'm gonna check that out. Give me one more that like you know me ish. So if you had to like be like, okay, this is one of my favorites, and not like me, but like as in you, like one of your favorites that you would be like, hey Kai, watch this.
Okay, I'm torn between two. One of them is still ongoing and it's long, so it is like a commitment.
Okay.
It's very popular right now. It's called My Hero Academia. It's like one of the biggest animes in Japan right now.
Okay.
It's basically superheroes. Like it's kids that go to school to learn how to be superheroes in this society where everybody is born with a power of some kind, and then you either get to like you're like I can like varying degrees. One person's like I can create fire from my hand. Other people are like, I can make things float for 5 seconds and then they stop. So that person might be like, I'm an accountant, but I can also just like do that thing. Like it's really intricate world and it's really fascinating and it's really heavily American influenced as far as like the way they structured their superhero world in a way. But like I said, it's long. It's on like its 5th season now, so it's like a commitment to go into it. The other one that I recommend that I think you'll like because you're a theater person and you like plot and intrigue is
I do.
The show there's one on Netflix. It's completed. It's all done.
Okay.
Called Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I've heard of this. But I also heard, and this is where my confusion is going to come into play. I learned this from the TikTok. Apparently, there are 2 different types of Full Metal Alchemist. One is that, and one is like, I guess, the other Full Metal Alchemist, and they're not the same.
They are not. So basically, that show, the first time it came out, it was just called Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
And it was longer. They took a lot, like they really took their time on a lot of the arcs of the story. And when it ended in a way that like none of the fans liked. Like the ending really didn't make any sense. It didn't fit. It was unsatisfying.
Okay.
So the studio was like, okay, we'll just come out with a new one. So then they basically just redid it. And like they fixed all the problems. They dotted every I. They like cut out the filler.
So it's the same story, but not.
Yes, it's the same story, but like condensed to be like you only see the most important parts, and they connect everything. Brotherhood is the one that's the best one. Brotherhood is the second one that came out. It is the evolved form. It is the best form of that anime, and the plot is so I love plots that like all start off like in 7 different pathways and then they all just merge and you're like everything makes sense. Oh my, like it's it's so well thought out, and they clearly like they dotted every I, they crossed
Got it.
every T, everything's tied in a bow, and they're like, here you go. It's so good.
Okay, so all right, so I have Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
I have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, not the
Yeah.
other one, because the other
No,
one we didn't like.
we don't like that. We don't talk about that one.
And what was the other one again? What did I miss?
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna watch them all in one weekend.
Oh God, God bless.
I won't.
I'm gonna be like, you will never. What? You will die.
And then I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you next week and be like, I watched them all.
You're gonna go crazy. You oh my God. That's
Oh my
awful.
God, could you imagine? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna give those a shot because like this world fascinates me. So I want to be able to like be like, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I got it. Especially
Yeah.
because now that TikTok is pushing it on me, I might as well just
Yeah,
accept it and be like, okay, what do you got? Let's go.
Oh, exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's a lovely genre because ultimately what I really like about it is that like it's good versus evil and good guys win. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
it's
right.
something really classic about that formula that they
Right.
just have really perfected.
So so I guess my last question for you is this. In regards to what's the is there a verb for this, like weebing? Is there a verb I can use for this?
Not really. Like I mean, like yeah, you are a weeb. You do weeb things.
Got
Like,
it. Okay.
You know.
So in regards to people that do weeb things, that may be listening right now, that may be like, uh, uh, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. But for anybody that's listening right now that may be having a rough 2020, right? But they look to this Japanese animation to make them feel better. What would you say to those people that are just feeling down and they feel as though all they have is this to help keep them going and keep them excited? What would you say to them?
I'd say that I really think that it's okay to cling to something that gives you comfort. I think that is, I think if you need it, cling to it. But also what's nice about clinging to that anime is with that anime comes the anime community that also clings to it. So you'll find if you go on TikTok, if you go on any kind of social media, any kind of forum online, you'll find other people that love it and need it just as much as you do, which means you're not alone, you're not weird, you're not insane for watching these animated characters, fight bad guys or tell their crush they love them or whatever. Right. It's fine and you're not alone in it.
That's amazing. That's so cool. And I'm so happy that you decided to teach me a thing or two because I was lost. I was like, I don't even know where to begin.
Listen, man, I love talking about anime. I could talk about it for literally hours.
I love it. Well, Erika, I'm so happy that we got to sit and chat and catch up and all of that because it has been quite some time and I'm happy for you and your success on the TikTok, and I'll be watching you continue to grow in that world because I know that is quite an accepting and fun and enjoyable world, and I'm looking forward to learning more about it. And I appreciate you just taking the time to sit with me and talk with me. If people want to find more of you, where can they find you?
On TikTok, I am jersey.kawaii, which is Japanese for cute. And Instagram, I'm Erika Schmerica 11.
Awesome. I'm going to put that down for those of you that are watching right now. I'm going to put that down underneath. And then for those of you that are listening on a podcast like Spotify or something like that, I will put it in the description. So make sure you go follow Erika, especially if you are a weeb.
Yes.
But even if you're not,
weebs to me.
Even if you're not, you could learn a thing or two about that community. And for all you know, you might end up liking it. I'm going to give it a shot. So you might end up liking it. Who knows? It might be a new passion of mine. But with that said, Erika, I'm so happy that you are here. Friends, go follow her. And if you want, you can also follow me while you're at it. You can follow me on my favorite social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at The Vibe with Kai. You can also follow me on Snapchat and on TikTok at Kyrus Keenan, or you can visit my website, thevibewithkai.com, where I'm always posting blogs and videos and things that'll help you do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. Erika, thank you so much for sitting with me. I love you. Thank you so much, everybody else. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless and good vibes.